Hey everybody, we are back with another week. I believe this is the fourth week. We're talking about patience today. We have to understand that patience is something that we all need. Patience can help you get through any season. And also patience can help you be patient with yourself. What I learned about patience, this is really going to feel more like a little mini Bible study because I'm going to give y'all like 3 verses and kind of explain them. Because really during that week I was being taught on what patience really is. Because honestly, what I learned in that week was, I'm not patient with myself. Sometimes we put too much expectations on ourselves, saying like, oh, we need to already be here at this time and da 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 da. Trying to make these plans. I just realized how I wasn't patient with certain people around me, and just things like that. But the way God has shown me how He was patient with me during that week was basically every time that I walked away, kept being, in and out. He was showing me how patient He was with me, always providing, protecting, and all of these things. And then also, like, when I had one foot in, one foot out, especially, when I got on my journey with walking more with Christ, I was like, I want to do what you're doing. I want to do what the Lord is telling me to do, but then I also kind of want to do what I want to do at the same time. So the Lord is just so patient with us. We got to understand that, like, His patience. Because I'm telling you, if it was me, would have been like, girl, get on somewhere, okay? But the way I can best describe, being patient, especially like, during a season or anything like that, having patience with God, is that if you want to have true patience, it's basically trusting God's timing over my own. And if He's on time, if He's an on-time God, then my promises is right on schedule. So we have to understand this, that when we try to do things on our time, we do it too fast, or, we weren't even disciplined to even get to what we needed to get to. You see what I'm saying? So if we know that we serve an on-time God, why do we have to feel that our blessings are not going to be right on schedule? Because even though, like, it feels like, oh, it's taking too long or whatever, maybe because He's trying to help you discipline whatever your promise that He already gave you to walk into. Because now if we want to do according to our time, but we get what we like, oh, we finally got it, but now you don't know how to steward it right. See, God loves you enough to not only give you the promise, but to actually steward you and discipline you, so when you get that promise, you ain't gonna mess it up, blow it all away. You see what I'm saying? Because we also have to understand, I recently watched this video on Instagram where the girl was saying, God has never made a fool of me. So we have to understand, like, our God is never going to make a fool of us, and He ain't never going to give us our blessings late, because He's a what? On-time God. So let's get into the verses. So the first one is Proverbs 25:15, the NIV version. It says, through a patient ruler can be persuaded, and a gentle tongue can break a bone. So basically this says patience has power at the end of the day, right? So instead of forcing change with anger or pressure, steady patience and calm words can influence even someone in authority. Because we have to understand that sometimes when we try to be aggressive about certain things that we want to have change in, it don't be helping. It's like it doesn't really change anything. It just makes people more angry. It makes the energy in the room feel off. Because we have to understand, harshness hardens hearts, and gentleness softens them. So if I come to you about a situation, I'm coming mad aggressive with it, you're not going to even want to take the advice, or you're not going to want to listen to what I'm saying. But if I come with you being nice, being calm, it may change some things. It may not change it like that, but it's going to change it. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, let's just say, your boss makes a decision that you don't so-called agree with, right? Instead of, complaining or going to your coworkers talking about them or doing all this other craziness, why won't you just, let me sit back. Let me just make, maybe he not having a good day, or whatever the case is, or whatever. We have to understand, no matter what position you are in a job, everybody got life going on. You know what I'm saying? But everybody's taking it in a different course, right? So instead of doing all that, why don't you just bring it up to him and like constantly, like sometimes, like, hey, I don't think what you was doing right. Yeah, maybe he might not hear you the first time, maybe not hear you the third time, but at least you being consistent, at least you being calm about the situation, and you trying to make a better change than the decision that he made. Because one thing I've learned, and this can go for anybody, this can go for your job, somebody at your job, your nerves, or your relationship, friendships, whatever. One thing I've learned, the ultimate thing is that what is it When you choose prayer over complaining, you're choosing patience, because now you're trusting God to move. You're trusting him to move. You're saying, you know what? I'm going to trust you with this. Because one thing about it, we can't be complaining all the time about a person. You know, technically this world needs prayer. If we're really being honest, this world really needs prayer, because we always going at each other. Oh, this person does this. Oh, this person does that. Like you any better. Who are we to talk about somebody? At the end of the day, like I'm learning that more and more as I walk with Christ. It's like, who are we to talk about anybody? Anybody. Like I say, just because your sin ain't like my sin, don't make you no better. Because sin is sin. Okay, baby? Like, that's at the end of the day. Because it's like, what is it for? Because now think about it like this. What if Jesus had a crash out moment every time somebody disrespected? Do you think he would have reached as many people as he did? Because his patience is the reason why we're saved. Think about it. Because our job here on earth is to share the good news, be calm, be patient, be all the fruits of the Spirit, right? To bring people home to him. So if you think people gonna want to go home to Christ because we got a whole bunch of hypocrites out here, you know, saying one thing but doing another, you think that's gonna bring people home? Well, we praising the Lord on Sunday, we doing all this service in the church and and then Monday through Saturday we acting a clump fool. And I'm talking about I'm not even gonna make it seem like I'm just all this perfect. I'm speaking to myself too. Like I'm preaching to myself right now, okay? But at the end of the day, like we gotta understand, Jesus was so patient. He had every reason to crash out, but he didn't, because he knew the benefit on the other side of what it was all gonna do for all of us. See what I'm saying? So with that being said, what would it look like if we chose patience instead of anger? One would be, it would look like correcting with gentleness instead of reacting with emotion. See, a lot of the times when we be reacting to certain things, it's because of the emotion behind it. Like, I feel like sometimes it even go with our background. Like, oh, you know, you're not supposed to be feeling, if somebody disrespects you, you got to step to it. And one thing I'm learning is, like, I was that way too, because, you know, it's the principle of the whole thing. But one thing I'm learning is that person just, you know, going through it, or that's how they was raised. But why should I have to keep matching the energy? Because we, at this point, if we doing that, we just falling into the patterns of this world. And the Lord say don't do that. We got to be set apart. We got to be different. Yes, it's hard. Yes, some days are easier than others. But at the end of the day, at least we trying. At least try. You see what I'm saying? And then another way is, it would look like trusting God to defend you instead of depending on yourself. See, that's another thing. If we was to just hush and say, God, I know, you know what? Even though it made me feel like I looked like a fool and I did not say nothing, but at the end of the day, I know that you're defending me. And I know that you got my back. And I know that since I was obedient with you, I'm in good terms with you. You see what I'm saying? Because I feel like, why get all angry? Then we go home. We like, oh, Lord, I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. Da, 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 da. When we could have just prevented all that. We could have just changed it and said, you know, Lord, I'm going to pray for that person. I don't know what's going on in their life. I don't know what's making them angry. I don't know if their childhood, what they got going on. But I pray that you heal that situation. Because like I said, prayer is what we need nowadays. It's too much chaos going on, like whether in the world, going on in your families, whatever. It's too much, okay? And so at the end of the day, what we have to understand is this, right? It's patient love that draws people home. Anger may win an argument, but patience can win a heart. Just say it like that, and I'm going to keep it pushing, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to just keep it pushing. Here's another verse. So Romans 5:3-4, the NLT version, it says, we can rejoice too when we run into problems and trials, for we know that they help us develop endurance, and endurance develops strength of character, and character strengthens our confident hope of salvation. So I'm going to give you 3 things of basically what this verse is saying, right? Patience is built in pressure, because standing firm instead of quitting, right? It's the strength to remain when things are uncomfortable, unfair, and unclear. So we have to understand, God wastes nothing. You see what I'm saying? Because no matter what you may be going through, no matter what you may be facing, no matter what you've been through, that all was for a purpose. Because like I said, God wastes nothing. He will never make a fool out of you, period, right? Here's another one. Patience is proof of trust. Because basically in that moment, you're saying, you know what, Father, I'm going to trust you here. I'm going to trust you even here. Because, see, we so quick to only want to trust God because when he giving them blessings out, he just throwing it out. No, that makes you a formula blessing. That makes you got this relationship, this formula relationship with God. Like, oh, when you give me good, I'm going to praise you. But when you start tweaking out, Lord, I don't know. I'm going to kick back. But no, that's not how it's supposed to go. At the end of the day, you saying, I'm going to even trust you here, because even in that moment, he's developing something in you, and that you can trust him there, because you're still going to, like I always say, it's your perspective. If you're going through something, you have to know you're going to win. Yes, it may be long, or yes, it may feel like, Lord, I don't know, this is taking a little too long. But at the end of the day, you're going to win. He told you the promise, right? So when has God ever reneged his promise? Let me know, because I ain't never had that happen. I never heard somebody say that happened. And if they did say that happened, we know that's a lie. But hey, let me not get too deep. And another thing that, that patience is proof of trust is, patience in this verse isn't about liking the trial, right? It's about believing God is working through it. You have to understand, God is working through you, and God is working through that situation, because it's building, right? He's building something in you. Another thing, the last one, patience produces transformation. See, endurance shapes character, spiritual maturity, right? So, and then also with that being said, patience isn't just surviving hard seasons, it's allowing God to use them to refine you. Like I said, whatever you go through, God is building something in you, because now it's basically saying, you know what, I'm building my history with God. Because if I can get out of this season, and yes, I may fall into another season, but since I got this season as, basically my, how can I say, my book of, testimonies, I can say, well, no, this season was harder than this season I'm in right now, but I got out of that. So what makes you think I'm going to get out of this one too? Because at the end of the day, it's just about building that trust. It's about building your faith. It's about building your relationship stronger with God. And it's about, just telling your testimony to people, saying like, look, I've been through this, I've been through that. But one thing about the Lord, he came through every time. Because that's what he going to do. You hear me? So mainly what you can take from this verse is that this is the kind of endurance that produces real hope and not temporary relief. You see what I'm saying? Because I love how it says not temporary relief, because see, when we, how can I say this? I'll say that. When you go through stuff and you see that it was nothing but the Lord, right? That gives you real hope. Because now, like I said, when you fall into another season, you're just not going to feel like this temporary relief. You're going to feel like, hold on, the Lord really pulled me through something. You know what I'm saying? Like, he pulled me out of something big that I didn't even think I could pull myself out of, but, he was moving through me. And this can be whether you just getting on your journey with God, you on your journey with God. That's real hope. Like, that endurance is real hope, because it's saying, you know what? Even though I went through this, I learned A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It taught me how to steward this. It taught me how to slow down on this. It redirected me, and all these things. It protected me from where I wasn't supposed to be. And you have to think about it like that. You got to change. Like I said, it's your perspective. And the last verse is basically, this is a part out of my church's verse of the year. We have Hebrews 35 to 37, but the part that I took out, which is Hebrews 10. 36 NLT, right? It's patient endurance is what we need now, so that we will continue to do God's will. Then you will receive all that he has promised, right? So this basically saying, it isn't just waiting quietly, right? It's enduring while obeying until God fulfills what he promised. Because we have to understand that at the end of the day, no matter what you face, you got to obey God. That's just period. Because just because you face something doesn't give you the reason to crash out. Just because you face something doesn't make you feel like you should disrespect people. Just because you're going through something don't make you feel like you can just do anything and everything that you want. No. Because one thing I've learned is that when we feel like we can do all these things, we just really making the promise longer. Because now the Lord's saying, well, see, I do some fixing right here. Because he loves you enough to discipline you. I'm always say that. He loves you enough to discipline. You may feel like you don't need it, but the Lord knows your heart. And one thing about it, he gonna tell you, oh, you think you all good, but let me show you some of them flaws. That's why you have to ask the God to search your heart, to really know what's up in here brewing. Because you may not think it, but the Lord knows. The Lord, trust me, the Lord knows. Because we have to understand this. Waiting is a part of receiving. The delay isn't denial, it's preparation. God isn't holding back the promise, he's strengthening the person who will carry it. Like I just said. It is not denial. Like, the delay is not denial, okay? It is preparation. Because that's just like you go on a job, right? And you just think you finna walk up in there and start doing everything right. No, you got to get the training before you can do that assignment. Because that's like, that's why any job you go to, they got to train you. Because they got to train you how to do it this way, that way, da. What you think the Lord doing? It's the same thing. He trying to train you so he can make sure that you got all the equipment, all the tools, all the knowledge. So when you step into that promise, you know exactly what to do. I don't care what the promise is for you. You have to get training before you can fulfill it. Because if you don't get the training before you fulfill it, you just gonna crash it. Because you don't know what to do with it. That could be for money. That could be for whatever. That could be whatever. If it's money, if you don't know how to steward your money or have discipline with your money, why would he give you all the lump sum of money if you can't discipline the small amount of money? Let me not, get too deep. You know what I'm saying? Let me not get too deep. But those are the 3 verses that really spoke to me. Of course, I'm going to put some more at the bottom in the description. But I just wanted to let you know, your patience is not denial. Like, the delay is not, denial. It's preparation. God is training you up for where you need to go. He's training you. He's putting you in your training wheel season. Then eventually, once you learn everything, you get the wisdom, you listen to what he's trying to tell you. Now we can take them training wheels off and you can start cruising. You see what I'm saying? But, all right. Let me start wrapping it up. So patience isn't just waiting. It's trusting God while he's preparing us. That's all it is. It's not just about waiting. You have to see, okay, God, what do I need to learn? Like I've said this before. What do I need to learn? What are you trying to correct in me? What are you trying to fix? What do I need to be disciplined in? What is this? What is that? Like, change your perspective. Don't look at what's going on, because that's how the enemy tries to confuse you. He trying to point out all these different things, like, oh, look at that. Oh, this is happening. Oh, that's happening. Oh, if it ain't one thing, it's another. Now we got to look to the Lord, because he's trying to show us something greater than whatever the chaos is going on, right? So in Proverbs 25:15, it shows that patience has power. In Romans 5:3-4, it shows that patience produces growth, right? And then Hebrews 10:36 shows patience carries us to the promise. It carries us to the promise. That's all it is, right? So I also want to give you a little bit of encouragement right here, right? If you're in a season of waiting, do not lose hope. Don't lose hope, don't lose heart, don't lose none of that, right? Because God isn't delaying you, he's developing you. I'm going to say it again. He's not delaying you, he's developing you. Don't think that he forgot about you. Don't think he has forsaken you. In that Bible, it says he will not leave you nor forsaken you. So don't ever think that he's far away, even if you feel like you can't hear him or you feel like you can't feel his presence. One thing about it, he is working. He is working. All you have to do is keep praying. You got to keep believing. You got to keep trusting. Because if he did it before, he would do it again. And then on top of it, the same God back then is the same God right now. Come on now. Build your history with God. Know the kind of God that you serve. He's a big God, okay? Like, always know that no matter what is happening in your life, he is going to come through. As long as you remain faithful to him, be obedient, do your best every day, because of course, we're going to fall short, we're going to make mistakes. That's just natural. That's our natural flesh. That's what's going to happen. But as long as you're trying your best every day, waking up, doing your part, being in his word, spending time with him, praying consistently, and knowing and trusting and believing in your heart that he going to move, trust me, he going to move, okay? But that's what I want to teach you about patience. Keep that patience. Keep that patience in your work life. Keep that patience in your faith. Keep that patience in your relationships. Keep that patience in your friendships. Everything. Keep it that patience. But that's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And also, I want to thank you guys for all the support that you guys have given me thus far with this challenge, or even just like the other little videos that I post, here and there. But yeah, I really do appreciate, the love, the kind words, and all of that. So I thank y'all. God bless y'all. And I will see y'all next week when we talk about kindness. Bye.